Hey there, viewers. Welcome back to the South Main Auto Channel. Got a 2013 Chevrolet. It's the Impala. It's got the big 3.6. The money light's on. He smoked a deer with the front end and said after that he's had these problems. Car has no tack. Can't rev it up. Evidently won't start when it's cold out. So that's a problem. And I think that's all he told me, other than the fact it goes into this reduced power mode and just won't move. So he had left it, he dropped off 2-3 days ago, started up, bring it in. It did start and run. Runs just barely off and idle. I just idled it in here, and that's as far as we've got. There's the extent of the deer damage. So it looks like bumper cover. I don't know if it got some wires there or not. So here are the codes that are in it. Looks like we've got your classic P0651 for a 5-volt reference. And then a brake pedal position sensor circuit low. Which I wouldn't be surprised. It says all these tests are passed. That's kind of unusual. I wouldn't be surprised if that brake pedal position ran off part of the 5-volt reference circuit too. And while we're standing right here, and I'm whispering in your ear, we will look at the 5-volt reference circuits. Boom. So it's not lying to us. 5-volt reference 2 is at 0.09 volts, shows a fault. So now we need a wire diagram to see what all that runs. Looks like there's 4 circuits in this. Let's see, I've gone ahead and printed this up, that diagram. You guys probably won't be able to see it, I can barely see it. So this is 5-volt 2, 3, and 4. One was on a different diagram, but it looks like, I can read, yep, so we got brake pedal position sensor, crank sensor, so that's probably why we have no tack, secondary air injection, solenoid valve 1, and solenoid valve 2. So it looks, as long as this diagram is correct, we only have 4 components there. So we have the potential of a broken wire or failed component or short to ground. Something is pulling that 5-volt reference down near ground, but not completely. So I doubt that it's rubbed through and shorted straight to ground. So we'll have a look, see what's the easiest thing to get to, which I think is probably going to be the air injection solenoids, because there's one right here on the front of the head. I assume there's one on the back. I don't know where the crank sensor connector is, but we will also find that. Get a flashlight here. So we will unplug. Can you guys see? Yeah, you kind of can. We're going to unplug this air solenoid here, if I can. Mother lover. Let's see, we got a pink, a white, brown, white, blue, black, white. Let me see what color wires these were. Let's see, air solenoid, brown or orange and black, so it must be the brown wire. Looking at scan data, when I went to get the diagram, it did not change, so that's not shorted. There's one way here at the back of the engine. Way down yonder here. I don't know if I can get it. Come on, baby. Mother frigo. All right, get some kind of picking apparatus. Let's see here. See if we can get down in that connector. This better be the one. No, I hope it's not the one. This one's kind of a pisser to get to. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, baby. All right, that one's unplugged. Let's see. Scan data still says 0.09 volts. Where we gotta go? Let me see where this crank sensor lives, see if there's a connector we can get without putting on a lift, then we'll look at the brake pedal position. Once all of these are unplugged, then we've got to do something different. I was hoping it's just a failed component. Leave our pick right there. And we'll see. Lots of cam sensors here. Let me take a look there at service data. So the crank sensor is underneath the car. And I guess while we're still down here on the ground, we're going to unplug this. This should be the brake pedal position. Oh, we just got a dinger. I think that's brake pedal position, right? Looks like a position sensor. Let's go have a look at data. Service brake assist. Must be service traction control. So must be it could still see certain parts of it. Let's go over here. 0.09, son of a mother. But yeah, it said the crank sensor. Where did it say that thing lived? Lower rear of engine block. Bank 1, right side near the knock sensor. So let's raise her up, I guess. What we got there, boys? Somebody's been fiddling with the crank sensor because I see some butt connectors. Oh, there's some more butt connectors over here. What is that up in there? That's some wadded up tape. That's knock sensor. Lots of white wires. So buttons on my underwear. It seems like an awful lot of wires for just a pigtail. Let me do a little something. Kind of pry that guard back. That thing's kind of all waffled in there. Actually, it's just all zip tied up. Let me get that zip ties cut off and see what we got going on there. So I unplugged the crank sensor, folks, and it looks like they used some crimp and seal connectors. And when the car got to the top floor, I got it all cut and unplugged. And I look over on the scan tool over there, and I see my 5-volt was back, but it's in and out, in and out. So right now, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna do something with the car. Right now it's still at 0.9, but when I do this with the car, when I jiggle it, it works. Let me enhance, enhance, enhance. So I'm gonna wiggle the car. There, she's sitting on the locks, and the car's just jiggling. I'm gonna jiggle it by hand here. Jay, wiggle that car in the lift for me.
I'll just tell this fellow all he's gonna do is bounce down the road.
Yeah, he just needs the hydraulics. Yeah, there you go. So you gotta wiggle the car. Unenhance, unenhance. So what in the thunder is wiggling? Because you're just wiggling the whole car, not really particularly just the engine. Well, this is an odd one. Oh, you see it here first, folks. That is strange. So what I want to do, wheels are on the ground now. I just want to get the engine jiggle. Alright, so that does bring it up. Is it the act of moving the engine, or am I still wiggling the whole car? Let me just wiggle the car. So let's wiggle the car. Give me an orange pry bar, will you, Jay? Oh, okay, you guys probably can't see that, but that's okay. Trust me. I'm just going to wiggle the engine independent of jiggling the car. So right now I'm flexing the engine back and forth. Nothing going on there. Let me try to pull the engine forward. That's just cranking it back. Of course, it's going to wiggle the whole car. Wiggle the whole car. Bada bing, bada boom. What the frig? Huh. Ain't that some weird stuff? Just gotta wiggle the car. I don't want to wiggle too much because then the freaking thing will be fixed and I won't be able to find it. But what the heck are we wiggling? ECM lives in the airbox, right?
Yeah.
Wiggling the airbox doesn't do it. Let's make sure wiggling the whole car makes it change. What's that? ECM is? Yeah, I think it goes right. Oh yeah. Well, the airbox is all busted there too, Jay. See that?
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you can see the ECM. Let me just wiggle the harness coming out of the ECM. No, nothing there. Interesting. You're a strange one, Mr. Chevy. So I'm gonna wiggle This ECM is super exposed. It's gotta be, it can't be something. I'm trying not to wiggle the whole car and just wiggle individual harnesses. A moment ago I was fiddling with this ECM. There you go. Right there. Okay, oops. Just trying not to wiggle the car. Tweaking up on that ECM connector. Let me just see if this still. Alright, so wiggling the car still kind of works. I'm having a hard time understanding here, folks, because wiggling the car on the lift doesn't really shake anything other than the entire car. It doesn't independently move harness or engine because the wheels are suspended, so it's not like the engine is rocking. I should be able to rock the engine more with the wheels off the ground. So there's tipping the engine back. There's letting the engine come forward. I'll be damned. Enhance. All right, so I'm gonna tip, because this is gonna let me tip the engine back further. So right now, I'm tipping the engine back all the way and holding it with my pry bar. All right, and then I'm gonna let go with my pry bar. Well, duh, that's easy. I'll show you how to fix this. No, you don't need to just carry a pry bar, do you? You gotta get a block of wood.
Oh, there you
and we're gonna whittle that down. And you stick that in there, you've got a steady 5-volt ref.
All right.
All right?
Problem solved.
Problem solved. No parts required. I'm trying to be diligent here. I don't want to go touching too many things. I'm just trying to observe what is moving as we rock the engine like this. And I see, harness-wise, not a lot. I mean, just minutely. But I see the air box here moves, which houses ECM. And I'm wondering if I hold the air box still, tweak the engine. Let me see if I can't. Boom, there's your problem, lady. I think, unless now. What in the flip? No, I thought I had it. I think I was just letting off my pry bar at the same time. Let's see, because if I hold this air box completely still, pick up the engine, it still does it. What in the hell am I moving here? Oh, this is weird. So I noticed just reaching over here that this mass airflow sensor feels warm, but that shouldn't have anything to do with anything. But contraire. Because I wiggle on this. Here we go. We found the wiggler now, folks.
Really?
I don't know if you guys will be able to see, but we're back to 0. I'm gonna reach behind here and just wiggle. Just ever so lightly. Yeah, if I just touch the harness for the mass airflow, so there is that there. I'm going to just barely touch the harness for the mass airflow. And did it come back? Yeah, it came back. Okay, so I'm just going like that there. So that's wiggling this section up through here. Oh, I think we might have found it.
You didn't know anything about that.
Poor Josh, he always gets the paper towels. Well, let's see. I think that. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Let me come back here and tweak again. Shit, now we did it. Because now I got nothing. But all we were wiggling was this harness here. It shouldn't have anything to do with this mass airflow. We're going to unplug it just in case, but as long as service data is right, it shouldn't have. I thought maybe we had found it right under here, but because I've seen the stain, I think we better check these connectors. Son of a mother. This is why you don't fiddle with stuff, folks, because at least we had it narrowed down 100% to this area. But we don't know, is it a harness going down? Is it these harnesses up here? But we know we're in the right area at this point. We do have a wire rubbing on the bracket right here. No, it does not. Oh, we had a flicker. Okay, so I'm pushing that with the end of my test light, or with the end of my light. So right down here, the end of my light, I'm pushing it. We got our 5 volts back. So what do we have? We got to rub through, maybe right there on the corner of the transmission. I don't know if you guys can see that. Enhance, enhance. Maybe rub through there, because now it's gone again. What do we have here? We just have a couple relays. Yep, so has nothing to do with any of these 3 connectors, because wiggling them doesn't do much of anything. We're at 0.26 volts right now. But if I come down right by the ABS valve, just touch this harness right there. Yep, so I'm just barely tweaking that with the end of my test light. Let me work down the line a little bit further. Okay, so we have a break of some sort, or short to ground rather, potentially right down there. Yeah, so I wonder if I can reach down. Let me see that pry bar there, Jay. I want to just push that harness away from the trainee. Oh, actually, I think there is a gap off the trainee right now. So I keep that off from the transmission. We got a steady 5 volts. Let me push it back over into the transmission. Yep, so I'm wiggling it back over into the transmission. We're back down to 0.
Wire rub through and touch it.
It's got to be. I'm going to pull that harness away from the tranny. Back to 5, yeah. We got to have a short right at the tip of my pry bar down there. It's got to be rubbed through on that trainee bracket. Or somewhere's in the bottom of this harness, but let me just push that back over. Of course, now I'm probably never going to be able to line it back up now that we've frigged with it. Yeah, it's got one little glitch out of it. I say we pull that wheel. Try to get in there and see what's happening. So I got under here. So this is the harness we were looking at from up top. And before I let it down, I pulled it back, and I didn't see an abrasion there, but look at that transmission line right there. I'm thinking, because we were looking at this area right at the end of my screwdriver before on this little casting web, and I think it looked pretty clean, but look right there where it's rubbing on the transmission line. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me enhance. Right there, baby. I'm pretty sure that's it. Of course, I've said that 5 or 6 times now, so one of these times though, I'm gonna be right. I pushed that harness up with a screwdriver because I got to figure out how we can get to it to fix it. And that's what it looks like. That definitely looks like some wire rubbage and some rust. I'm hoping that we can get it from under the hood. Boy, Josh restocking us. Get us through the afternoon. I pulled this harness up, and let me see if I can enhance. There you have it, folks. That's all it takes. Just a little sliver. Didn't break the wire. Just barely rubbed it through. Well, that's all it takes. I am going to take off camera, because this is in a pisser of a spot, because I can't pull the air box and stuff out because of the duct tape. I don't want to have to retape anybody's tape other than the tape here that I split open. I just took and opened up this harness, unhook the relays, move them to the side so I can at least reach down in here. A little oil in the throttle body, classic. I'm going to check, because there was a couple wires down here chafed. I'm going to take and repair them. Probably just end up cutting them and then, solder and heat shrink, get them back together, get this tape back up, and then we'll make sure all of our problems are resolved. Of course, we have to go through and plug everything back in and recob up the crankshaft sensor there with the extra wire, and brake pedal. I think that's about it. I think I have everything plugged back in. Harness is fixed. I took and zip tied it up to the brake line. This car has no shortage of zip ties on stuff. Everything else is plugged in. We should be good to do our classic code clear. Now we've got our 5 volts. What we'll do is we're going to pop back out. Let's see. We'll pop back out of here. I'm just going to do an all system clear because we set a bunch of codes from unplugging stuff. So do a quick erase and then we're going to see if it works. Let's see, we're all clear. Let's see if we have a tack now. We didn't have a tack before. Oh, look at that. We have a tack. We didn't have any throttle either. Let's see if that works now. Hold on, folks. Hold on, I'm coming. So like I say, we had to just idle it in. Oh, baby. What's that? Oh, quit open, it says. Almost forgot about you folks. The red Chevrolet is done, the Impala that we fixed. The 5 volt wire there we found was shorting out as you're wiggling the engine or wiggling the car and it was rubbed through on the transmission. I guess lessons we can learn from this one is don't let what the customer tells you dictate your process. We've learned that before in lots of other videos. You know, always listen to the customer, what they have to say, you know, what they think it might be, you know, and so on and so forth. But ultimately, follow your process. You know, in this case, you know, the guy claimed that this happened after you know, the deer hit, which, you know, we've seen, you know, front end's all busted up and stuff, but instead of going on a wild goose chase, looking at everything that was over in that area, or, you know, looking at, you know, the parts that he had told me that he had replaced, we just disregard all of it, stick to your process and let the data dictate where you go next or what you find. So, and that's what we did, and it seemed to work. So that's that. So why don't you guys work your way down to that comment section. It's questions, comments, criticism, concerns, socials, the Facebook, the Insta. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.